Broadcasting live. It's America's longest running talk show on computers. It's Computer America, bringing you the biggest names in technology with guest interviews, new products, and your emails. Listen live at computeramerica.com on any device around the world. Email the show at live@computeramerica.com or find us on social media. Be sure to check out our website for contests, giveaways, show notes, live video stream, podcasts, and more. You're listening to Computer America.
Hello and welcome everyone into the Computer America Show. We have a great program for you today. This is going to be a short interview, but that's okay. Anything that we don't touch on, really hoping to get them back on and talk about this at length. But hey, CES is a crazy time. I'm very happy that they're able to find time in their schedule. And hey, we're more than happy to find time in ours because this is a topic that I think many of you are, kind of getting more and more aware of. And it's the fact that we're getting more things delivered. And hey, a lot of that's not going to be by people forever. Autonomous delivery is going to be a big segment of not just our economy, but our everyday lives. So joining us today is Mr. Deepak Gupta. He is the Chief Revenue Officer for a company called Ottonomy, Ottonomy. And Deepak, thank you so much for joining us here on Computer America. Our pleasure. So I think, for sake of time, why don't you go ahead and give us a little bit of background on Ottonomy and, how has the show been for you?
All right. So thank you so much for this introduction. So Ottonomy is an autonomous delivery platform company. We are barely a year-old company right now. And when we started the company, our primary focus was in being able to understand and where is a platform and a solution where delivery robots can help solve a problem for today's world. The conversation with autonomous delivery platforms so far has always been on the fact that it is the future, and the future is coming in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, and we need to be ready for that and start adopting towards that for today. But the regulatory framework, unfortunately, has inhibited deployment of that on a mass scale. Today, if you look at autonomous delivery, different states define it differently. Some call it, some allow legislation on autonomous robots or autonomous cars on the roads. Some only allow it to be on the curbside. Some only allow it on the biking lane. Even those states which are allowing it, say, on the curbside, they have different standards of what a robot can do, cannot do when it comes to curbside. What is the payload? What is the speed? Does it need a teleoperator? Does it not need a teleoperator? So all that makes it difficult to scale up a deployment of an autonomous vehicle delivery platform on a nationwide basis. So even though the technology may be ready, it is the regulatory framework which is not conducive to a large-scale deployment. So we started looking at the business opportunities where we could, develop a technology which could be deployed on a larger scale within the regulatory framework. And the first area that we identified was airports. Now, today, if you look at airports, people are used to the convenience of DoorDash and Uber Eats and Grub from the home. You browse a menu, you choose your food, you pay for it, and it gets delivered to your doorstep. However, when it comes to airports, you still have to get up from your seat, trudge to the food court, choose a restaurant, stand in line, pay, then wait for your food to be prepared, and then you go back to your boarding gate. And people don't really want to give up their seat and trudge to the airport. With COVID, people would like to avoid moving around in areas which are crowded, and that's where our first focus has been, is on introducing our robot. So we are currently live at Cincinnati Airport. So if you were to be at Cincinnati Airport today and you want to order food, you don't have to get up from your seat. You just browse through the menu that is on an app which is available at the airport, and you choose the item. And once you make the payment, the restaurant will notify my robot that, okay, the food is ready. My robot will go to the restaurant, get the food loaded on the robot, and then find its way to you, to the specific gate where you are based. And then you use your code, which will send to you, to open the robot's cabin. And the cabin which has your order, only that cabin will open. And then you can pick up your food. So what we are doing is right now bringing the convenience of Grab and DoorDash at an airport in a much more secure and automated manner. This is a robot which can be deployed at any airport. So apart from Cincinnati Airport, we are in conversation with 4 other airports in the United States. And over the next 2 months, we'll be making announcements of our robots coming to those airports pretty soon. The next problem that we tried to identify was with respect to retail and restaurants. And again, the same regulatory challenge has been besetting them from being unable to deploy or test autonomous delivery robots on a large scale in the United States. What one of the key focus areas that we realized was problem was that retail and restaurants today are suffering from a severe staff shortage. In addition to that, when you are able to get the staff, the way the minimum wages have been rising is making it increasingly prohibitive to deploy multiple people at your retail and staff locations. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I was at San Francisco last week, and I was walking past a Taco Bell, and they were offering a walk-in job for at $20 per hour. Now, if you're just operating for 10 hours a day at $20 an hour, you're talking about $200 per day for a staff. If you're operating 7 days a week and 30 days a month, I mean, it's going to be like something like $6,000 per month at the entry level position. And that's a lot of money to pay for.
I was just thinking about, what makes Autonomy able to provide the service, kind of nowadays, in your opinion. Is it, kind of legislation kind of getting more codified and, set in stone? Or is it the fact that, hey, there's a labor shortage and getting people to, fill these roles just isn't really possible? What do you think is leading the drive for this kind of innovation from Autonomy?
I was coming to that. So the problems that we are trying to solve is not actually from the regulatory perspective. It is being able to offer a solution which can be adopted readily by multiple companies. So one of the biggest challenges which has come up in the past 2 years has been the rise in curbside pickup options for both retailers and restaurants. So customers today are adopting more and more the convenience of ordering it online and then going and pick it up themselves at either the retail store or at the restaurant. It saves them delivery charges and it is providing them an immediate delivery option. However, the staff shortage, which I was just alluding to, is creating a challenge at the last mile, at the last minute, when the customer is there at the store to pick up the order. He often has to wait for 30 to 45 minutes to get his order delivered on the spot because there is no staff in the store which can just pop out from the store and deliver to the customer at the car. And that is the business problem that we are trying to solve with autonomous robot of autonomy, where we are saying that my robot, being capable of both indoor and outdoor navigation,
Mm-hmm.
is the one that will go inside the store, pick up the order, and take it to the car where the customer is waiting and deliver it to the customer. And that way, I can alleviate the necessity or the shortage that you are suffering from labor, where you just don't have enough people in the store to be able to fulfill that. We were talking to one of the largest retailers in the United States, and we were talking to a gentleman who was heading in-store operation, and he was saying, I myself have seen this, where just to pick up an iPad that I ordered last weekend, I had to wait for 45 minutes at my own store to get that iPad delivered to me because there were just no people in the store. And it's a big problem for me. And 45 minutes waiting time is creating a significant dissonance from the customer perspective. And that is where autonomy is able to help them. The second advantage that we're offering them is that because it is the parking lot and that is owned by the restaurant, the retailer, there is no regulatory framework inhibiting the adoption. So once I've proven the concept in one parking lot of a retailer, I can deploy it with them across all their parking lots across the United States with no regulatory inhibition. And that allows them to take advantage of the cost efficiencies and the labor savings of my robots immediately across all their outlets.
There and of course there's a lot more that we haven't covered. I was just writing down a list of everything from security, the safety of pedestrians and people, scalability, fleet management for companies that, let's face it, like Walmart, manages food and groceries and really everything else, and now they have to manage robots. I mean, I'm sure that's something that Autonomy would handle. My point is that there's so much that I wanted to talk to Autonomy about, but due to time constraints, I think we're gonna have to kind of close this down a little bit. And really, I hope that the show is going well for you. And of course, it's going to start getting busy for you. I hope that you have a lot of people at your booth. But I'm looking forward to, after the show, getting back in touch with Autonomy and having you back on for a longer 30-minute or an hour interview. I think that'd be great.
Absolutely. We look forward to that. And thank you so much for this.
All right, everyone. So if you want to find out more, Ottonomy, Ottonomy.io. We'll have a link to it in the show notes over at our website, computeramerica.com. And of course, I'm sorry, Deepak, thank you for stepping in last minute. And this is great. You shared a lot of great information. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right, have a good one. Day.